Hey everyone, how are ya? Awesome. Just a reminder, it's a 1 p.m. tip tomorrow, so 24 hours from now. Should be fun. Um, we'll have Coach Bluder momentarily, and then we'll have Caitlin Clark and McKenna Warnock following that. And then you should all have recording privileges, but if you don't, let me know. Coach Bluder, how are you?
Good here.
Can you hear me okay?
Hello, how are ya?
Great, how are you?
Terrific, thank you.
Awesome. We'll have you go ahead and get started with an opening statement, and then we'll open it for questions from there.
All right, well, we're anxious to play. I mean, it feels like it has been forever since we've played, with losing that game to Ohio State over this past weekend. So Western Illinois comes to town, and to me, it's a little bit of a game I have to be cautious about as a trap game a little bit, just because my players are smart. They look at their record; they're 1-6, right? They're coming off their only win of the year, but they only lost at Wisconsin by 7. I mean, and that is not a bad loss. They have a couple of Iowa girls, a Cedar Rapids girl, a Mason City girl. I know they'll be excited to come in here and play. So on paper, we're definitely the best team, but we got to show it on the court.
If you have questions for Coach Bluder, please raise your hand in the participant window. Our first question will come from John Bowenkamp.
Hey, Lisa, how much did the postponement of the game this weekend, did that kind of throw off your practice at all? Or did you just, I mean, how did you kind of handle that with not playing?
Well, I mean, we actually tried to find another game. We searched and tried to find a non-conference game that we could put in there. We went through a lot of different avenues there, but to no avail. And so we ended up taking Saturday off. But I thought had a really good week of finals week practices. I thought the energy was really good. You hate sitting on a loss. And then when you got to sit on it that long, you just want to play after a loss. And, we had to sit on it for a long time, but I do think the team did a really good job of kind of learning lessons and moving on from there. And again, I think that we've had some good prep that, will not only help us for Western Illinois, but will hopefully help us for Rutgers on December 31st.
Chad?
How much time, did the players get off? I mean, this is going to be one game in 18 days, I think, if I'm counting right. Is it good to get a break, I guess, in some sense as well?
Well, I think it's nice to have a break, but not this early. I mean, I would rather have that in maybe January or February, but December, we're still trying to work the kinks out, right? We're still a young team that's trying to get experience and opportunities. And so it was too long, in my opinion, but we had some days off, and I think that was good for studying. I think we only took 2 days off in that amount of time, though. If I remember right, we had Saturday off of this week when we were supposed to be playing, and I think we had last Sunday off. Do we have Monday off too? Oh, we had Monday off too. Okay. So we had 3 days off in that time. And, I think that's good for them, is mostly going into finals. We wanted to give them some of that time off just so that they could focus on their academics.
Jeff?
Basketball wise, what's kind of been the focus since the loss, as far as things that you've been trying to correct and work out?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that we thought we could work on, particularly rebounding. I think our transition defense can be better, but we're doing a lot of good things too. I thought our zone defense was pretty good against Michigan State for the most part. So, I mean, there are some good things that we're definitely doing right now, but we just, we're not there yet. But I wouldn't expect to be, even if we would have played a normal schedule by this time of year.
Steve?
Did you change anything last week in terms of maybe what you were going to do prep-wise once you found out the game wasn't going to happen?
Well, we were able to work on ourselves more. We were able to focus on how can we make ourselves better in preparation for the Big Ten season versus working on the Ohio State scout. So, yeah, things were different.
Chad?
I don't cover the team every day, as you know, but just a big picture question. When you have a freshman who's getting so much national notoriety, how do you balance, that with the veterans on your team and obviously not let it go to her head as a young player? I mean, what's kind of your messaging there to the team?
Yeah, well, the bottom line is this team wants to win. And that's the number one mission that we all want. And if that means Caitlin scores 30 and we win, great. If it means Caitlin scores 10 and has 10 assists and we win, great. And, you know, Caitlin's used to putting up those kind of numbers because she's had to. So now we do want to get the other team more involved in our offense. And we've talked about that with her. But the team also knows that she's a special player and they know that she can do some special things.
But is she wired in that way where she's not going to let it go to her head, in your opinion?
You know, I think she's got a great amount of confidence, but I think all good athletes have a great amount of confidence. Now, when it gets to be cocky, there's a total difference, and she is not there. She's confident in her abilities, in her work ethic, and she is not cocky in the slightest. And once you go to that cockiness, then you got problems, but that's not an issue.
Jeff?
Yeah, along those lines, she's leading the nation in scoring now. ESPN said that she might be the best player in the country right now, not just the best freshman. How do you feel about some of those accolades at this point?
Well, I think it's terrific for our program. I think it's terrific for her. I love the national attention for our program. That's what we try to get, right? But you know something, we see her in practice every day and she does have warts and we can see the warts. And so we know what they are, but we certainly don't want our opponents to know what they are.
Steve?
How would you assess McKenna's start so far this season?
I think McKenna's done a great job for us. You know, her shot was a little bit off in the Michigan State game, but then she comes up and gets 13 rebounds for us. And she's been rebounding well for us. She's had some, tough defensive assignments. I just feel like she's a more confident player this year as a sophomore. I think she understands what we're looking for more on the court. And so I'm really excited about McKenna and what she's going to do in her next 3 years here at Iowa.
Her role as a rebounder, just the progress that you've seen from last season to this, is it on track with where you want it to be?
I think so. I mean, and she's also, she's so versatile. And I like that about McKenna is that, leave her open for the trail three, she's going to knock it down. But then she also, can post up and can drive. And so I love that versatility in her. And I think we saw that, in the Big Ten season last year. And that's why she received the all freshman team award. But, yes, I think she has continued to grow on some different areas. But again, she's only a sophomore. She's just beginning her career truly. And just like Caitlin, she's got warts as well that, we all do, right? And we all have things that we have to work on. And certainly, that includes the coaches.
Thanks.
Any more questions for Coach? Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Thank
Good luck
you.
tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, I believe we'll have McKenna Warnock first. Hi, McKenna. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. We'll go right into questions for McKenna. If you have one, please raise your hand in the participant window. Steve.
Yeah, McKenna, what has this little time span been like? It's been a while since you've had a game, and how can that benefit a team, and what kind of impact has it had?
Well, obviously, we hope to get into a game. Just at this point in the season, it's great to get out and just compete against other people other than yourselves. But I think the team has done a really amazing job this week. There's been a lot of high energy. It's just kind of been a growth week, working on ourselves, not preparing for other scouts, but just getting better. And communicating and working on all those little things that we need to. So
With a young team, I mean, can this be a beneficial time period?
for sure, I think if it's spent right, I think our team spent it right as well. But if it's spent right, I think it can be really beneficial. So
Thanks.
Jeff?
Yeah, at this point, what were kind of the focuses? What did this team need to work on, after the Michigan State game and also in general to this point?
we put a lot of focus on defense this past week. It's always kind of been a focal point for our team and something that just has been exploited in the past couple of games. And so we really worked on finding that passion to play defense all the time at every single point of the game. So I think that, along with just communication, especially as a young team, communication is important. So
Chad?
Obviously, with the Ohio State game getting canceled, I mean, that's a COVID related thing. How are you guys as a team making sure that you're not getting COVID? And, I'm sure that's tough too, in some ways, to be isolated so much.
yeah, especially as a college student, it's tough, but I think that everyone is so invested in this program and in the team that they know what situations to put themselves in and what not to. So it seems to me, at least, our entire team has taken it seriously. We don't go around people who aren't within our immediate circle or who we live with. And even with Christmas coming up, we're still taking it serious and making sure that we're making the right decision if we do go home. So
Any further questions for McKenna? Awesome. Thanks, McKenna. Good luck tomorrow.
thank you.
Hi, Caitlin. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. So
Awesome. I'm just gonna say, can we tilt the laptop up? Yeah, okay, we're good. Okay. Just a little taller. We'll go right into questions for Caitlin. And the first question is from Chad.
Hi, Caitlin. How you doing?
good. How are you?
Good. Just asking your coach about the line between confident and cocky when you're a star player. How would you describe that line for yourself?
Yeah, for sure. I think any good player has to have confidence, and I think the best do, especially at high levels. You have to have a lot of confidence in yourself. But I think there is that fine line, and I kind of play with a swag, but it's all confidence. I don't really try to come off cocky or anything, but I'm sure people can think that, but it's all confidence for sure.
I'm sorry to follow up. Do you have you're a true freshman, obviously, and you're coming into a team of veterans, but they're also leaning on you like a star. So are you conscious of that, I guess, not wanting to, I guess, take away from that, but also knowing that how good you are?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think it's kind of a work in progress just because I haven't, in high school, I was kind of all relied on me. So just trusting my teammates more and more and relying on them more. And I think we have really good players around me that will be able to help. And they do help, and they've been performing really well at a high level. So.
Jeff?
Yeah, I think it was ESPN said the other day that at this point you're not maybe just the national freshman of the year. Right now you might be the national player of the year. I don't know. Have you seen those words? I mean, do you see those things like that, and how do you respond to all those kind of accolades?
Yeah, I saw it. But at the same time, I mean, I've only played 5 games. So, I mean, we've only played 2 Big Ten games, and both weren't ranked teams when we played them. I think Michigan State just entered the poll today. But just going forward, we're going to play better and better competition. So just coming out and performing every night. But all I want to do is win. I think that's the goal for everybody on this team, just win. So that's at the forefront of our minds, and that's what we want to do every single time we step on the court.
John?
you've talked in the past about adjusting from high school to college. Have you felt like you've settled in and I mean, do you feel like you're really into the college game at this point and understanding what you need to do?
Yeah, I think for the most part, but there's still learning moments, obviously, and I think that'll be all year long and could even go into next year. I'm still learning a lot about the college game and just what that brings, but I think the transition for me has been pretty smooth, and it helps that we started off with quite a few wins, and I've shot the ball pretty well so far, so that helps a lot. But I'm learning every game, and I'm sure that will continue.
Steve?
The outcome in that last game wasn't exactly what you guys wanted. How difficult has it been to kind of sit on that loss for well over a week now?
Yeah, especially after a loss, you don't want to just sit here. You want to get out there and play and get a win. So it's been tough, but I think it was a great learning experience for us after we had dug ourselves quite a few holes, and not just that game, but games before, and kind of learning like we got to stop doing that. And there was a lot of things we could work on in practice this week. A lot of defense, a lot of rebounding, and I think we're starting to get the point. If we want to be great, it's got to be on both sides of the ball. Our offense is fine. It's defensively where we need to make improvements.
Those defense-dominated practices can sometimes be a bit of a grind.
Yeah, but the coaches make it more like game-like. It's not just like breakdown defensive drills. It's a lot of live play, but focused on defense, which helps a lot and keeps our energy up for sure.
Thanks.
Jeff?
Coach said that, at this point, I think she said the word warts. Your game still has some warts, some flaws, I guess is probably the nicer word. What do you see? What do you need to improve on individually?
Yeah, I think turnovers is a big one. I'm kind of susceptible to those sometimes, but I like to play fast and I'm a risk taker. So, I mean, some of that is going to happen. But I think there's some times where I can just put my teammates in better positions and not turn the ball over. And I think defense is probably the other big one. Just working hard every single time we're on defense and being a two-way player, not just wanting to be on offense all the time, even though that's more fun, but locking down on the defensive end of the ball for sure.
Chad?
How are you dealing with this first year of being a college athlete in the pandemic and almost extreme isolation, I guess, in some ways? Is that difficult?
Yeah, I almost say it's almost easier for us freshmen just because we don't know any different. But at the same time, I think it's been easy just because we know we get to go out there and play basketball every single day. So there's a reward at the end of it if we isolate and we stay healthy. So honestly, it's been pretty easy for me because I just want to be out there playing every single game with my team.
We had Gary Bard on today, and he said probably not going to have any fans all season, unfortunately. Where you guys kind of need to generate your own, I guess, inspiration.
Yeah,
Keep the
honestly,
going.
a lot of Big Ten schools aren't even allowing families, so I'm honestly just thankful that we're allowing our family into the games, which is really nice just to have them there. It's actually makes it more of a difference than you would think than just an empty arena with no people in it. So I'm thankful for that, but every single game it'll be energy coming from our team, and I think we've done a pretty good job of that so far.
Any other questions for Caitlin? Awesome. Thanks, Caitlin. Good luck tomorrow.
Yes, thank you.
All right. We have 1 p.m. tip tomorrow, and Hannah can answer any further questions if you have them via email. Thanks, guys.